everybody, Tim with Collect Jurassic, and today we're looking at Snap Squads. We have a new wave to unbox. We're also going to be looking at all of the previous Snap Squads that have been released to this point, because after this final wave, Snap Squads are evolving to Snap Squad attitudes, which I'll definitely make a video here in the channel about those new figures coming out of Mattel for Snap Squad. But as of now, these are the final regular Snap Squad figures that are coming out before we head into that new theme. So super excited to unbox these for today. We have Velociraptor, Triceratops, Carnotaurus, Toro, and Spinosaurus. We'll definitely be getting these out and taking a look at each one, doing some comparisons to those other figures here. And I also want to take some time to talk about each wave that has come out so far, because this is literally every Snap Squad figure released to this point. So I'll definitely be going over each of those before we actually even unbox these figures. But before I get started, I just want to say thanks to Kyle from Australia for sending me these. These were purchased in Australia, but they are available now here in the US at Walmart. But let's go ahead and take a look at these Snap Squad figures in front of us before we open up those new ones. So the first wave of Snap Squad that ever came out was these four little guys right here. This was the kind of the debut wave, and it covered, basically all the classic carnivores you'd want to know about. We have a Indominus Rex here. Obviously has that fun snap action. Also got the T-Rex, of course. Can't start off a Jurassic toy line without a T-Rex. We also have Endo Raptor here, since these did come out with Fallen Kingdom. And then we got Blue over here too. Of course, another classic. And Snap Squads are so fun because they do have that snapping action and they wiggle. I remember seeing these at Toy Fair for the first time and not being so sure about them, but then seeing them do this and being like instantly sold. I thought that was hilarious. And now that there's so many of them, I'm kind of in love with them because they do look great all together. So that was the first wave of Snap Squad to come out. They came out individually. They were a little hard to find at first, and they came out in a 4-pack on Amazon here as well. But they were pretty hard to find. It wasn't until we'll get there, but it wasn't until about later waves that Snap Squad really became easy to find, at least here in the US. Now, I am going to cover, waves without going through every single figure that was in that wave. This next wave didn't have any re-releases in it, but, as we get into later waves, there's going to be some of that. So this wave 2 had, technically 2 all-new figures and 2 repaints. The first all-new figure was the Dilophosaurus here with the frill. I love his teeth. They're a little bit more ragged than some of the other regular Snap Squad. We also got Carnotaurus. This was pre-Toro. This is just straight up Carnotaurus, not based on the show or anything, based on its appearance in Fallen Kingdom more than anything. And then we also have a second Indominus. You can see here it's got this really cool pearlescent sort of clear finish. It actually looks incredible in person. Hopefully it's coming over in the video. It's not just clear plastic. Again, it has like a pearlescent finish. It's different than the previous Indominus that was just the solid color. So a variation of that, and a very cool one, if I may say so. And then of course the fourth figure was T-Rex again. The sort of repainted repainted Mattel T-Rex that we got, and a couple different variations, starting with the Legacy pack that came with the baby T-Rex. So that's like basically a Bull Rex, but smaller size. A repaint of this T-Rex, of course, just with different coloration on it. So that was wave 2. Again, it was sort of like no repacks, all new figures, new in quotation marks, and some of them were repaints. But we did get some pretty exciting figures already out of those first 2 waves. Wave 3 kind of was full of repaints, and that it was the Raptor Squad. So you got Delta, Charlie, and Echo to round out Blue. All the exact same sculpt. Blue also came in this wave. I didn't buy it again, obviously. I have the Blue from the first wave, so there was no need for that. But they're all pretty cool. They have paint applications that match sort of the Raptor Squad Mattel figure was releasing at that time. So this one's very much like the Attack Pack figure. I think it was Charlie, I want to say. Same with this one. Very much like the, I think it was Echo. the Attack Pack figure has the same coloration. This one, you know, I don't think we ever really got a Mattel figure with this exact, you know, those color of stripes and all that. But this is an approximation, like all Mattel figures are, of the Raptor Squad. Not exact, but, you know, along with blue, you have all 4 Raptors there to collect. Another harder to find wave, but this was sort of the wave where they first started to show up in the US. I think it was at Meyer and Kroger was this this Raptor wave. And then we, of course, we had Spinosaurus and Mosasaurus rounding out wave 4. There were a couple re-releases in this wave. I think T-Rex was one of them. But Spinosaurus was definitely one that was very requested. So here it is. It has the Legacy Collection coloration, of course. And this is our first Spinosaurus that we got as part of the Snap Squad line. So there's Spino, and then Mosasaurus, another really popular species that they waited for, you know, a later wave. I love the coloration on this one. It's really nice. It's got like a darker color that fades to a lighter color. Got that chomping action. One thing I always love to talk about with the Mosasaurus and the Snap Squad is that when it first came out in this wave, it also had a version that had a huge iris that I always keep around. I'm not big on keeping variants with paint, but this one's just so funny and obvious that I had to keep it. And you can see the iris size for all the figures is sort of comparable. They're all sort of the same, but this one is like on another level. Its iris is so huge. It's always cracked me up. So I always keep it. I don't display it with the other ones, but Spinosaurus and Mosasaurus were that 4th wave. Now we're getting onto the 5th wave. Hopefully I can look at these without knocking any figures down. Wave 5 had an all-new figure in Baryonyx. Again, this is before Camp Cretaceous, so wasn't known as any name yet. One thing I like about it is it does have that metallic blue on the snout that the Mattel Baryonyx figure has. It's an all-new sculpt. It's got that really narrow snout. So that is the Baryonyx all-new figure in that wave. And then we had a repainted Dilophosaurus that I actually like more than the other Dilophosaurus. I like the color on the frill they added. It just makes it pop a little bit more than this other version that didn't have that. But it makes it feel more like the Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus. It's still not perfect, but it's close. So a repaint in this wave, but a welcome repaint alongside Baryonyx. So I can stick these up here without knocking them over. And now we get into Camp Cretaceous. And this is when Snap Squad really started to be easy to find because they did start carrying it in Target. And we got these waves. We got this wave first here in the US at Target. Came with some all new figures, as well as some repaints. One of those new figures was, of course, Bumpy. It's metallic. I never really, knew what to make of these metallics. They kind of ruined the likeness from the show, but it's a nice little gimmick for some of these, especially the repaints. So that's Bumpy from Camp Cretaceous. We also have, see if I can get Bumpy to stand here. We also have Toro from Camp Cretaceous. You know it's Camp Cretaceous because it has that red mark, that scar from the show, but a metallic version of the previous Snap Squad we got with the red, obviously the red mark too. So same Carnotaurus figurine, just a metallic version of it. Also have Mosasaurus, metallic version of Mosasaurus. Probably the only metallic version of a figure that I like because it makes it feel more aquatic. You can see his iris is extra small compared to the extra big previous version of Mosasaurus. Kind of funny. But again, I like the metallic version on this. It just works because it's an aquatic animal. And then we have Triceratops, the first all-new Snap Squad figure in this wave. Oh, sorry, I guess Bumpy was new too. But also our first herbivore next to Bumpy. I think we went like the entire first few waves with just carnivores. So we opened up with Bumpy and Triceratops in this wave with herbivores. Worth noting that it still's got those teeth to chomp on in there, but a metallic version nonetheless. So that was the first wave that really was easier to find here in the US. That Camp Cretaceous wave because it was at Target. So then after that, more figures started showing up, a little bit easier to find. Those were followed up by a couple different waves of Snap Squad. We have the T-Rex and Raptor Blue here. Blue obviously is just a metallic version of the blue we already got. So they were just covering their bases, doing metallic versions of figures. So the popular species. So literally the exact same figure, exact same paint scheme, just with that metallic finish instead. Same with T-Rex here. It's literally the T-Rex we already got in the first wave. The paint application on it is definitely different. It's some of it is the same, some of it's like the head is totally different. The detail is just a little bit more obvious here. And again, it has that metallic finish that all the rest of them have. So, you know, they had to hit those two big species. I'm surprised we didn't get a metallic Indominus, honestly, because it was such a big part of the first season. But moving on, the last couple metallic figures we have are Stiggy Moloch, all new sculpt, and Parasaurolophus, all new sculpt. Stiggy's got the teeth. Parasaurolophus has the teeth. Pretty fun. Again, we're really leaning into herbivores as the Snap Squad sort of fills out. Stiggy is metallic. Doesn't really look like Stiggy from the movie, but it is an all new sculpt. And then Parasaurolophus, definitely supposed to be from the Camp Cretaceous show because it has this, let me see if I can get it on camera. What I should have had is some hot water ready to go. You can make the snout actually change color. I don't know how obvious my warm hand has made it, but it's really cool. It's got this color changing effect. If you dip it in hot water and dip it in cold water, it's super obvious, but hopefully you can see there in the video it kind of changing for you as I put my hot hand on it. So kind of a fun little gimmick, something we haven't seen in any other Mattel toy, certainly no other Snap Squad, that made Parasaurolophus kind of a special one. And then, you know, the metallic figures sort of ended, which I was okay with, because then we got back into that sort of more realistic color finish. We finally got Bumpy without that metallic finish, and to me that looks significantly more like Bumpy. I mean, you can see just from the side-by-side how much that metallic gives to the style of this. It just makes Bumpy feel you know, like the show, like the cute little Bumpy we have. And then we have Baryonyx. I think this is Grim. So it's got slits for the eyes, which is different than the only other previous Baryonyx we got, which has circles for the eyes. Kind of interesting. I think it's actually the only figure. So, oh no, I guess I see that Blue and the Raptors sort of have slits for the eyes as well. But this was Grim from Camp Cretaceous. Technically, you could count the other Baryonyx as Chaos if you wanted to, but that's Grim and Bumpy, the final two figures up until this point, of course, until we get to that new wave of figures that we want to talk about and, of course, add to our growing Snap Squad collection. So let's go ahead and get these out. If you've been waiting this long, I appreciate it. I just really wanted to do a full rundown of all the Snap Squad, since this is sort of the last few figures we're going to get. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these guys out without hurting them on camera. Any luck? We'll get the Raptor out first. This Raptor's interesting because the press photos of it all make it look like a Tiger Raptor, but now that it's here, it doesn't look anything like a Tiger Raptor. If anything, it sort of looks like one of the Raptor Squad figures a little bit, but it's just called Velociraptor on the packaging. It doesn't have anything else, so it's definitely interesting. Actually, it almost reminds me of this Raptor a little bit too. So, nope, but just a generic Velociraptor. I wish it was the Tiger Raptor though. I think that was the actual photo of it had like the design, the darker color around the eye and stuff. I don't know why they pivoted to just a more generic Raptor, but there it is. Not quite as memorable as that Tiger Raptor, and also not a new sculpt, right? Here's Triceratops. I love this one because, you know, the other Triceratops we got was metallic, and these non-metallic versions just make sense. Interesting colors on this one though, right? It's very dark red. I mean, I don't think there's any Triceratops in the show or the movies that has this kind of dark red, but I do love that it's not metallic. Also looks a little angry, a little mean. But that's the you know, the final wave Triceratops. You know, next to the, oh no, I knew that was going to happen at some point in this review. All the figures were going to come down. Next to the metallic one, you know, same exact figure, of course. That non-metallic though, to me just looks, I just like it better. It just looks more realistic, as realistic as you can get, I guess, with these very cartoony figures, right? But that's the new Triceratops. Love those dark gray horns too. Another herbivore. Herbivores are woefully outnumbered in Snap Squad, but that's okay. Finally, we got, well, not finally, but these last two are definitely the ones I've been saving. We have another Carnotaurus. It says Toro on the package. So this would be, you know, I would call this the non-metallic version of the Toro we already got. So we can definitely do a comparison there. I really like the color of this one. It's just fun. It's a little bit lighter than the other Toros we got. It does have that nose scar there, so you know that it's Toro. You know, comparing it to our first ever Carnotaurus figure that isn't Toro, it definitely has all the same paint application beads. They're a little bit different on the way that they go around the eye, but otherwise it's very similar to that one. Obviously the eye color is different too. The base color plastic is a little lighter, makes them a little different. If we take the metallic Toro that we already got, that one actually is more in line with the Carnotaurus that's not Toro than it is with this unmetallic version of Toro. It's kind of funny that the two on the right are supposed to be Toro. The one on the left is supposed to be just a regular old Carnotaurus, but those two kind of match, whereas this one stands alone. But I like this color a lot. I like it almost as much as the first Snap Squad Toro, or sorry, the first Snap Squad Carnotaur. I just like the lighter colors. It works better than the darker colors for me. So very fun and cute. A little Toro there. Another unmetallic version of it. That kind of helps, like the bumpy version being non-metallic, getting that last figure. Last figure from Camp Cretaceous, character figure, not in the metallic finish. Final figure, of course, is Spinosaurus. Always a popular one from Mattel, right? I think I only need to snip that and it'll slide right out. So that's Spinosaurus. You know, it's got an interesting color scheme, right? It's almost like that bigger Spinosaurus figure we got this year, the Extreme Chompin that everyone is dying to get. It's reminiscent of that anyway. Definitely different than any Spinosaurus design we've seen up until this point. It is the same exact figure as the Spinosaurus we already got that had the Legacy Collection colors. You know, all the colors are different. The eyes, the body, the detail, all that stuff. Interesting, this one has such a lighter underjaw, and this one's underjaw tends to blend more. But there it is. So, new Spinosaurus. Again, I'm sure I've mentioned this in a video before. Just because it has Camp Cretaceous packaging does not mean that the figure is actually in Camp Cretaceous. We should know that by now with all the toys we've got with Camp Cretaceous, that not every single one is going to be in the show. And I don't think Spinosaurus is probably going to pop up, but maybe I'll be wrong. And you guys can come in here and tell me how wrong I was, right? But that's the final wave of Mattel Snap Squad. Again, we are getting more Snap Squad. They're just attitudes, so they're going to be different. These sort of have a neutral expression. Those attitudes have some emotion kind of built into their sculpt, and I'll definitely do a video on those once I have all of the information on them. But until then, I just wanted to do a kind of a recap on all the Snap Squads so far, as well as open up this latest wave of Velociraptor, Triceratops, Carnotaurus, Toro, and Spinosaurus, the ever popular Spinosaurus. So thanks for coming along with me today to look at all of them. I hope you found this informative. Again, I'm Tim with Collect Jurassic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.